And you may begin.
Okay, hi. I'm not sure if you can hear me because now I can't turn up my mic. I'm Pam
You
Walker
are
Smith.
perfect. You are
Great, thank
perfect.
you. Thank you, Jackie. I'm Pam Walker Smith, your presenter for today for eProcurement 101. I have been an employee with the Department of Procurement Services for 35 years, and our softwares that we use have been my mainstay as long as I have been employed with the city. Today, we're going to go over eProcurement 101. My job and intention is to walk you through how to register and how to utilize iSupplier Portal for your vendor information and how to utilize the online bidding folder for solicitation. I need to move. So at a glance, our agenda is: what is eProcurement? Accessing the iSupplier Portal and the online bidding folders. How to register, how to view bids and solicitation, how to respond to a bid or a solicitation. And as Jackie said, at the end of the presentation, I will answer your questions that you have submitted via the chat format. So DPS, we are the contracting authority for the procurement of goods and services for the city of Chicago. We work together as a team and with our customers to guarantee an open, fair, and timely process by establishing, communicating, and enforcing superior business practices. We are totally transparent. E-procurement was established in 2017. We actually went from paper bids to electronic bids in our already Oracle system we lovingly call FMPS because it is our financial management procurement system. The iSupplier portal is the full service resource for our vendors doing business with the city. All DPS bids, RFPs, and queues are electronic and are advertised through e-procurement. And that happened up under our former mayor, Rahm Emanuel, where he wanted the city of Chicago to be in the mainstream with other businesses and other municipalities from other cities and states who were doing e-procurement. And we love it. You must be registered or registered vendor to access the iSupplier Portal online e-procurement system for all of our purchasing activities. As a registered vendor, which is my absolute favorite, in the iSupplier Portal, you'll be able to view and respond to bids and solicitations online. You must view orders, payments, invoices, past and present, was never offered before. Update your company information, contacts, addresses, phone, and email so you have access to your City of Chicago vendor record and that big old humongous database that I manage and maintain for the city to change and update your vendor record. To assist vendors with the transition to the iSupplier portal and the online bidding process, the city developed the eProcurement Microsite. It is your manual to eProcurement. I call it your Holy Grail. That is your Bible where you learn all that you need to know in utilizing the eProcurement system. The address for that is www.chicago.gov/eProcurement, and we will take a look at it. Security. Please be assured your information is secure. The city takes security seriously and we ensure all information is encrypted. We use the same protocol as banking and other secure websites that you are familiar with using the protocol of HTTPS:/. Bid solicitations are not visible to employees or other vendors prior to the bid opening. Your active solicitation bid is secure. Be assured. I need to. So this first screenshot is the microsite, the website that I gave you, www.cityofchicago.gov. ePROCUREMENT is going to bring you to a page, this page right here, the iSupplier Portal. The orange ribbon, your best friend. Home is our first page, our landing page, and then there's login and registration, current bids and solicitation opportunities, online training material, delegates, and help. And we will go through all of them. At the bottom of the page, from what you can see on the screenshot, is a listing of when our workshops are. So as you can see at the bottom, it says, please be advised that the eProcurement training sessions have gone viral and that the next training session with the date, even though you're here today, you can come back as often as you like and view and attend each workshop on eProcurement until you're very comfortable with it. The second screenshot is of our requesting an iSupplier invitation. That's the orange button at the bottom. But the top of the page is speaking to our sister agencies, City of Chicago, colleges, our CHA, Park District, CPS, CTA, MacPeer, and PBC. Now, these are our sister agencies, and oftentimes I do receive phone calls from vendors that say, or prospective vendors that say, I have a vendor number with Chicago Public Schools, and they told me that I need to have a City of Chicago vendor number in order to be a part of the CPS solicitations. And I tell them that's not true. No, because we don't collaborate with our sister agencies where we're sharing vendor numbers from one entity to another. Our only collaboration is with Cook County for certification, for your MBE WBE certification. That's the only one. So our sister agencies, if you have a vendor number, you've done business with them, been paid by them, you have a vendor number with our sister agencies, that is exclusively for our sister agencies, and you must be registered as an iSupplier vendor with the city. So let's say that you are currently a vendor with the City of Chicago, you have a vendor number, you've done business with the city. You may not have done business with the city a long time ago, many years. If you were interested in doing business with the city, we'd give you a vendor number. Well, it's not like that now. Well, it has changed because of eProcurement, but for a long time, you had to already have a vendor number. So if you do, but you're not an iSupplier vendor, meaning that you have a vendor number with the city, but you are not an iSupplier vendor, you are unable to access the electronic solicitation, then you must request an iSupplier invitation at the orange button. That's going to direct you to customer support, and they'll assist you from there. The next orange button is new vendor registration. This registration is for vendors who are not currently doing business with the city, have never done business with the city, they do not have a vendor number. They are going to click this button and have to fill out some forms of information pertaining to their business and contact name, and you must upload W-9. Your W-9 vendor name must match what is on the registration. The FEIN number must match what is on the registration. If neither are matching, or if they both aren't matching, you'll get a notice back stating that we require more information because it does not match. So if you're doing business with your business name, but you have a DBA, just ensure that the name that you want to be paid by the city in the event you are awarded a contract is listed on that W-9. If not, then again, we're going to ask for more information. Oftentimes, there are vendors who have a business name, but they're doing a DBA. They'll list their DBA on the registration, and they'll list their prime name as the lead entity, and they don't match. So now we're going back and forth until we get it right. So just to be aware of that, and be sure that you're giving us all the pertinent information that you want the city to have so that we can contact you by phone and by email and register you accurately. Current bids and solicitation opportunities. This screenshot has a lot of information on it. The orange button that reads eProcurement bid and solicitation opportunities, that's where you would click that, you would select that button, and you will get a page of abstract. Our abstracts are the listing of our active solicitation. As well, on this very same page, you can look at the pre-bids and the pre-submittal conference attendees listing. Let's say that you were interested in a solicitation and you went to the pre-bid and you didn't know all the vendors who were there, or you may have even seen one of your colleagues whom you know, and they would be listed on the pre-bid attendees listing. And it's just an advantage for the vendors when they are able to view who else is interested in this same solicitation as I. So that's where we make it transparent that the vendors are able to see that. Also in blue, would you click on non-e-procurement bid and solicitations, there are some instances where we are posting for transparency another department who doesn't do business quite like procurement does when it comes to contracting and bids, but they want their bid to be published, and so it comes through our department, and we will upload the information that they have pertaining to the solicitation, and whatever documentation that they give to us to post, we'll post it in this spot, non-e-procurement bid and solicitation opportunity, and then you're able to look at it as well. It's not often, but it does happen. Here we have a listing of our current bid opportunity. So when Jackie was speaking to sign up for like DPS events, oh no, DPS alerts, when you sign up to DPS alerts, every Monday, you'll get a listing of our current bid opportunity listing. It's in kind to the abstract. The abstract is where you're going to be able to go get the solicitation, log in, and be able to start working on the solicitation. But the listing is a list of our bids that are going to be opening and when. So we do encourage our vendors and the vendor community to sign up for DPS alerts so that you are able to get the bid opening listing every Monday in the email. This landing page is what we do. It is on DPS's website, Department of Procurement Services webpage, in the blue ribbon, what we do. When you go to what we do and go to the drop-down menu, you see you have a plethora of items to view. This is like one-stop contracting information right here at what we do at Contract Administration. You see how much you're able to see. Awarded contracts are the tabulations for bid tabs that occur. Our consolidated buying plan, it'll just take you to the page that Jackie had showed you. Doing business with the city, a lot of information right there, because you know you got your want to be certified to do business with the city. How do I get NBE, WBE certification? Who are the contact people? You know, so it's listed there. Our JOCs, our emergency contracts, your payment information, the pre-bid submittals, and our takeout list. The takeout list is another thing, like the pre-bid submittal, that we make transparent for our vendors. Here at current bids and solicitations opportunities, at the orange ribbon, at the orange button below, is the eProcurement bid and solicitations opportunities page. Again, this is the abstract page of all of our active solicitations, and when you would view it, we're going to walk through it. So this is a look at the abstract page. Once you click it, it's a spreadsheet type format, and we're going to go from left to right. So we have our name of the department, the event, which is a terminology change from old school, which was contract type, to new school, which is now event. So our events / contract types are commodities, construction, delegate agency. I can never speak to delegate agencies because that's an Office of Budget Management. Um, mm, um, that's their business process. For our delegate agencies, it's not a procurement bid solicitation process, so we don't speak to that. But when we went from paper bids to electronic bids, the terminology changed. So I'll often reiterate that when I come up against a word that used to be one thing and now it's something else. So events actually means the type of contract that the solicitation will turn into. Then we don't use project model, but you can see down there where it reads DFSS Corp, that's a delegate agency program. And so they use that column. DPS does not. Your solicitation number is the number of the RFQ. The specification number column is there. Solicitation title, the spec number always precedes the description of the solicitation. The advertisement date is the date that it's going to hit the paper, advertised in the paper. That's our slang for when it hits the paper. That's advertisement date. The supplier response start date is the same day that is advertised in the paper. It's the same day that you can, log in and begin to look at it or download it, your preference. Supplier response due date is the day that the bid is going to open. So bid opening date is the same. Supplier response due date is the same as bid opening date. Protected markets column, that's when we have solicitations that are for small business initiative or target market, if it's or MBI. So when it is that type of solicitation, we will notate that in the protected markets column. Deadline for questions is very important. If it's a deadline date for questions, you must ask your questions before the deadline date that they can be answered by the procurement specialist. When there are questions to a solicitation by one vendor or many vendors of the same interested in the same solicitation, the answers turn into an addendum to the solicitation. So be aware of that. Details, the glasses, when you click on the details, it'll give you a PDF of the solicitation. So that's how you read the abstract. This is another view of the abstract in a simpler form because now you clicked on the details, and it's going to allow you to download a PDF of the solicitation, and it gives you a horizontal a vertical view of everything we just read horizontally. In this example here, we have the horizontal view at the top, the vertical view here in the middle, and then when you click on the glasses, here is the PDF of the solicitation. Up here on the right side, right here, I don't know if you can see my arrow, but it reads login. You can log in right there if you already have access to iSupplier. You can log in and go right into the solicitation. Here's a screenshot of once you have received, you registered, you approve, you have an email back from Workflow Mailer stating that this is your user ID name, which is generally your email address, and a temporary password. You put in your temporary password, and then you have to change it to your permanent password. And once you've done that, you logged in, you'll have two yellow folders. Your first yellow folder is City of Chicago iSupplier Portal with invoice creation. That's all, we'll go through it, but that's all things payment processing and your vendor record. And your second folder is City of Chicago online bidding, and that's all things pertaining to the solicitations that you're going to be submitting. At the bottom of the screen, the first folder is open. You have 5 tabs: home, orders, shipments, admin, and finance. Orders, shipments, and finance are all finance, and DPS does not handle finance. If you have a question pertaining to a receipt or an order, deliverables, payment, past and present, you can view that in any of those tabs pertaining to that subject. Admin, for which you see is highlighted, that is your vendor record. There, you are able to go into the organization link menu part, and you can upload your W-9 if it's not there already, because you have been an existing vendor for a very long time. And we don't, at that time, very long time ago, we weren't requesting or requiring your W-9. Now we do. We require a W-9. So if your W-9 is not there, upload your W-9 so that we don't have to, that assures us that the FEIN number that we may have noted matches. Okay, and it matches CyberDrive as well. The address book is where you can update your address. I always ask that the vendors, if they have moved, that they update of existing address if they're no longer at that address, because you have the ability to do that. But if you have more than one address, you can add your address as well. We'll get notification that the vendor has made changes to their vendor record. It is reviewed by a staff of people, and we cross match and check and make sure that the address that you're changing is not connected to a previous address that was a contract, and we may have outstanding payments, so we don't want any hiccups. We want to make sure that this is a clean record, and that if there are any outstanding payments, you'll get it at the address that you are changing it to. So, we have contact with the departments that look at the vendor records as well when it comes time to payments, to just make sure that everything is legit and copacetic and there's not going to be any issues. You can also add a contact person. So let's just say that you signed up for eProcurement and you have access, but you're going out of town, and the solicitation is going to open up in 2 weeks, and you're not going to have time to really work on all the documentation that's required in the RFQ. So you need to give somebody else access. You can do that to eProcurement. Note, please, if you begin a solicitation, you cannot another individual whom you may give contact to the record, your vendor record, they can't work on the same solicitation that you worked on unless you give them your password, your login. That's the only way. If you want them to complete a solicitation that you may have begun, you'll have to print those pages out so that they can log in to the system up under their username and their password, and they can complete the solicitation. They would also have to enter in any information that you already have entered. So there is no cross over to another contact person where they can complete a solicitation that you began, not for DPS. You would have to give that individual their own user ID and a password. This landing page is speaking to the second folder. So the most important folder probably for you guys. My favorite is the iSupplier Portal one for the vendor. because they can handle their own business with their vendor record. We do have to go in and change some things once we see that there's been some edits done that's not coinciding with our business process. We will do that. But this folder here is for City of Chicago online bidding. So you would click on that line, and then you would click on sourcing, and then you would click on sourcing homepage. And at the bottom, you'll get the negotiations form page. Here in this example, it is blank. But as you begin to work on solicitations for the city, that will fill up with the solicitations that you had an interest in. So here's a sample of a negotiations form that has activity, which you will have as you begin to, put in some solicitations. The table legend is as follows. The response number is the number that you're going to get once you've opened up that solicitation and you've saved it, you will get a response. Your response status, that occurs when you've opened it up. You may have typed something, you may have entered it, but you didn't complete it. It will be a draft. If you completed it, it will become, your status would be active. The supplier site, which is not used by DPS. The solicitation number, that's always the number of the RFQ. The specification number always precedes the title of the RFQ. So terminology for e-procurement solicitation is RFQ. In the beginning, when we first went electronic and we had so much terminology change, nobody, it was hard to keep up with what you were talking about because everybody wasn't used to the terminology change. So we try to explain it as much as possible because there still are some old schoolers who are really not caught up to the electronic process yet. So that's why we reiterate it. So time left is the number of days that are remaining before the due date, before the bid is going to open. The monitor, that can be used to see the activity. That means that how often do you go into the RFQ? And then did you submit it? Unread messages, that is that this legend is maybe to something else because I don't see unread messages here, but we will get a look at that. The unread messages, that's the messages that you're going to have when you're speaking back and forth to the procurement specialist of the solicitation. Do not, although you're going to go to a pre-submittal conference or a pre-bid opening, same thing. You're going to meet the project manager or of the solicitation for the department that's letting out the contract, right? You're going to meet the using department people. They're not the ones you are to discuss the solicitation with at all once it's open for bidding. You must speak to the DPS procurement specialist, and you guys will be having online discussions, and we will get to that as well. So here, this landing page is speaking to the terminology again. At the negotiations tab, where it reads search open solicitations, there is a drop-down menu. Because remember, once you've logged in, your page is blank. There's nothing there. You have to search for the solicitation by its number. Even when you log in, right? When I showed you the solicitation and the word login, the boxes there, it's going to take you to the login screen. And then you're going to log in with your user ID and your permanent password. And then it's going to bring you to this page, but it's going to be blank. And you input the RFQ number, or the specification number. And this is where the terminology changes. So title, that's actually your spec number. And number is actually the RFQ number. Our main search methods are with the spec number and the RFQ number. Title, spec, number, RFQ. Down here, let me look at this. Manage, review, response. So let's look at response status. Here on the table, like a spreadsheet. You have your response number. I spoke to that earlier. Once you've logged in and you clicked on that RFQ that you're interested in and you saved it, now you got a number that is called your response number. Your response status is active, requires resubmission, or what is not here is draft. Require resubmission means when you see that, that's serious. You need to respond to it. You need to acknowledge it. What that means is that there's been an addendum. 1, 2, or 3, could be many, could be just one. You must respond to that. You must acknowledge it. It's going to ask you to do so. When you hit yes, then you can move forward. If you do not acknowledge, you cannot move forward. So, and not only that, if you're not responsive to the acknowledgement of that it requires resubmission, then your bid is inactive anyway. Okay. The next column, okay, also response status draft means it's just that, a draft. You have not submitted it yet. For your solicitation to be must be active. You want to be conscious of your response status to ensure that it is an active response, right? Because that means that your solicitation has been submitted. Requires resubmission means that there's an addendum that you must acknowledge, and draft means that you're not complete yet. Your supplier site, that's actually where we within the units that updates our vendor record. The site is like your address alphabet. So like City Hall, if we had a City Hall vendor record and our address is 121 North LaSalle, our site would be A. The vendors don't know that. We change whatever it is that you have put in there because most of them put their company name there. Or they'll put their street address or whatever because they don't know what the address name means. Address actually means what site it is tied to, which business address it's tied to. If you're awarded a contract, that's the address that the check from the city is going to be made and going to. The solicitation number is the number of your solicitation. Here we have like fourth down in this column, it reads 6187, 2. The comma 2 means that there are 2 addendums there. The bottom one is 6312, I believe, comma 2. That means that it's 2 addendums. Now, let's just say, when the solicitation originated, that was the last time you were in there. So it's just one number, 6187. That's where you're going to see response status requires resubmission. That's your informal invitation to, well, actually, it's your formal invitation to acknowledge the addendum. So whenever you see there's a comma behind the original RFQ number, that means that there is an addendum out there. So just be aware of that. So here we're doing our search. We've done our search. And we put in, our example is RFQ 8332. So here, once you've put in your number and it populates, you want to select the response button. The response button puts you on the takeout list, and it also enables you to receive the addendum. If you do not click respond, you're not on the you will not be on our takeout list for the RFQ. So it's almost like you didn't submit. You're not going to get you won't be able to anyway. But a lot of times when we first went live, that was an issue. So I speak to it, even though now we're 5 years in. It's still brand new. It's still new to most, and so I have to speak to the fact that you must select the response button as well. So you would select your number, and then you hit respond, and then it's going to go into the ARP, and the page will look like this. So this is our terms and conditions acknowledgement with a disclaimer. You must read the disclaimer and check the box and hit accept. Now this is where the fun comes. See all that fun? So here we have our landing page of an open solicitation and its first header. So you have two tabs. You have your header tab, which is all the pertinent information that we want from you. And then there's the lines tab, and that's the tab where your proposal pricing would go into. At the top, again, we have the horizontal view of the title with the spec number and the description and the time left before the bid opens and the date of the bid opening. Below you have who is the vendor, which would be yourself, and the other boxes, they are blank. We don't include anything there. Below is requirement. Now, the first part of the requirement is procurement, just telling you some information that the solicitation is funded by what department. It tells you so now here it says DPS unit, which is commodities, but the contract type is also, or the event is also commodity. There's one drawing there. It tells you the terms of the contract and if there was or is going to be a pre-bid conference. So you see that they are going to have. Below that is the information that we want from you, the vendor. So there is a box there that you must read, and if it's applicable to you, then you will put information there. If not, you can put NA. Please note that all white boxes must be filled in. None can be blank. In the event that there is a white space left unfilled, you will have an error message at the top of this page. Not in the middle. You won't even know. If you don't go back up to the top, you will not even know that you have an error message. Okay? You're just going to be wondering, why can't you submit? It's going to be to the top of the page. It could be all the way at the end of the solicitation at the top of the page, and it's going to tell you that, let's just say, for instance, at the commodities line, it reads proposal page completed, signed, and notarized, and you didn't say yes in that box or no. It's going to tell you that's the area where something is missing. So be aware of your red markings at the top of a page that you may be on if you miss something. Also note that this is a commodities bid. When we have a construction bid, this could go from, oh my goodness, couple of pages because the construction, is so diverse and it wants so much information from you. It'll read right in the middle of the page. Right in the middle of this page, it'll read continue 23-50. You may miss it because you just may miss it. And that has happened with our vendors before. They didn't notice it. And so they had the error messages and they couldn't figure out where they're supposed to go to correct the errors. And so that's our troubleshooting that we have to do to see what is the problem that the vendor is having and how do we fix it. And so, yeah, be conscious of that as well, especially for construction or a vehicles and heavy equipment type of solicitation that the requirements may be very, very lengthy. And it's going to say C 25 through 50. And it's going to be in red in the middle of the page. Go back. Go forward. So again, no white box, no white box. All white boxes must be. Okay, right quick. Here it says enter the EDS number for your EDS certificate and attach the certificate. You see that space is blank. For solicitations, you must upload an EDS certificate. You must have an EDS number. If you have never done business with the city and you are in prospective bidders, you must upload. You are registering for a vendor number, new vendor registration. You must upload a W-9. So for registering, you must upload a W-9. For solicitation submittal, you must input your EDS number. You'll get an error message. You have documents that you are going to need to upload. This is where you add an attachment. When you're adding your attachment, please input the spec number first, colon, and what it is that you're submitting, like your EDS or your insurance, which must be current, and any other documentation that is required from the requirements listing from our vendor. Here is the landing page is speaking to the second tab, which is line. We went over header, that's where requirements are. Lines is your proposal page. Here, it's pretty simple. You just input your unit price quote. Terminology changed as well. So we still say unit price. It's flipped around, quote price unit. So the estimated quantity is already going to be there for you. You don't have to put in your quantity. You just have to put in the dollar amount of the unit. And it could differ based on what the commodity is. It could be just the other way around, where you're putting in the estimated amount of how many you can provide at whatever is the price that is noted from our using department. So it could be either way, but one will be filled out for you and one you would have to enter yourself. And the system does all the calculation. You don't need to do the calculation. The system will do the calculation. So next is the quote. So see, when you completed the both tabs and you saved it. Once you save it, it gives you your quote number for the RFQ that you've been working on, and it's telling you that it's saved as a draft. That's your response status. It's draft. Items to note. I must read this. Responses must be submitted through ePROCUREMENT. There are no surrogate paper responses. Being that our paper, if being this is an electronic solicitation, a paper bid is not allowed. We call it surrogate bid. Addenda. Acknowledging the system and on provided acknowledgement forms, if any. Responses. Fill out the PDF forms, scan and upload your attachment. Also, this is important, fill in the total price in the line provided. Submit detailed pricing on the provided sheets. That's for our RFPs primarily. For RFPs, you're going to enter 0.01 because there must be a value there must be a value in the system. But your regular pricing may be it's part of the solicitation document. You're going to write that in. That's how it works for the RFPs. But the line cannot be blank. You must enter 0.01. Also for groups, Group A, Group B, Group C, we've had, goodness gracious, group Z, if you're not bidding on all the groups, again, the group line cannot be blank. So you must enter 0.10 more zeros and a 1 for all the lines in a group. Now, not just the group, but all the lines of the group must have the 0.10 more zeros and a 1 on the line. If in the event that you have an issue with that, then you can contact 312-744-HELP or customer support at cityofchicago.org. That is our customer support help desk. They would be glad to help you. And if they need to send it to level 2, they will. They're our level 1. And then in our department, we have a level.
And I just wanted to let everybody know we know that it's close to 3 o'clock. She just has a few more slides and then she's going to open it up for questions. Thank you.
Correct. I'm going to zip through it. Zip. So see here at the top where it says warning, the RFQ has been amended to be considered for award. For award, you must acknowledge each amendment and submit or resubmit all your responses to ensure that they comply with the changes. So that's, again, they getting a warning way back here that they didn't acknowledge the addendum that was way in the front. Okay, so here to the right, we have actions, and our actions are online discussion. So at online discussion, again, that's where you're going to speak to the procurement specialist because you got a question, an issue, or a matter, and you want to talk. You want further clarification from the procurement specialist. You must do online discussion. It is the first. I want to say it's the first line item in the actions menu, and then you hit go. At go, it's going to take you to the messaging center and you would select new message. With your new message, just like adding an attachment, let me go back. With your new message, just like adding an attachment, you're going to put the RFQ number there and a subject, whatever it may be, and then in the box, you're going to, state your case. The procurement specialist is going to talk back to you via online discussion. So here it is again speaking to the fact that the acknowledgement that the amendment or addendum, amendment, same thing, must be acknowledged. So you would select yes. At that point, you're done. Here at this landing page, we have what we send to you is a confirmation of your quote submission. In the event that your response status is active and the next business day you did not get a confirmation of quote submission, please inform the procurement specialist of the solicitation so that we can look into why you did not receive a confirmation of your quote. So here at the top it reads, make sure you completed your electronic signature. If you didn't do this, your submission is still draft and it's not valid. Let me go back. Okay. So let me tell you this. When you get to the end and you're ready to submit your solicitation, it's going to read at the bottom your title and your name, and for you to select the box. There, you would think that you would go top to bottom. It's a little box at the bottom. I'm sorry, it's not in part of this presentation. You would select the box at the bottom, and then you would put in your name and your title. If you go the opposite route, it's not going to accept it because it's quirky, and it was written to first select the box, then put in your name and your title. If you do the opposite of that, you'll get an error. So again, you want your quote status to be active. you should receive a confirmation of your quote status the next business morning. Be sure that you look at your response status to ensure that right in the middle of you getting ready to hit submit, that the specialist did not upload an amendment or an addendum, okay? Because that means that you have to go back and resubmission, it would be required. You want to make sure that your response status is not draft and that it is active and that you have an active solicitation. This screenshot here is of the iSupplier Portal online training materials, your bestest friend when it comes to the City of Chicago's e-procurement. To the left, registration and profile updates is all about your vendor record. The middle is all about financing. You can contact the Department of Finance. And then to the right is the supplier response and submission portal. So any questions, any help that you might need with either of the two, your help is right here on online training material. And again, the bottom one is for delegate agencies. If you have trouble, please contact 312-744-HELP or customer support at chicago.org or cityofchicago.org. The web pages in the acronym has changed. Its portal has changed. For any reason, if you need assistance, just contact help. The training materials, they are either a document or a video. If you click on the word, let me go back. If you click on the word first time accessing iSupplier, it's going to give you a PDF that you have to read. If you click on the word video, it's going to give you a video of what you're reading. It's going to walk you through it. And that completes the presentation portion. If you have any questions, I am open to answer.
All right. Thank you so much, Pam, for that great information. And now our Q&A session is open. Feel free to put any questions that you have for Pam in the Q&A section. If you don't know where that is, that's down on the right-hand corner, bottom corner of your screen. You should see Q&A. If you don't, click on the three dots. It'll bring you to a menu, and then you can click on the Q&A. And then once you get the Q&A panel on your screen, you can go ahead and type your question in and press the enter key. Let me reiterate about the DPS alerts. Please sign up for them, and then we'll be able to visually see the bid opportunity list and how we have that link there for you to click on that way. I also got a question regarding, all the different places where you can find the bid opportunity list or bids. Again, there are multiple ways on our websites, in our communications that we send out, that you can get the bid opportunity list. You can get it by going and signing up for the DPS alerts. And then we have a whole section at the bottom that says bid opportunity list. And you can click on the icon or click on the link, and you will see the current list of opportunities for that week, the week of Monday, the 14th, I think. We last sent it out, Pam, and we send that out every Monday through the DPS alerts. We also have on the website where you can click on the bid opportunity list. So if you go to the main website, www.chicago.gov/DPS, and click on the icon that says bids, you will go into the bid opportunity list there. And then you can click on the link and see the bid opportunity list there. So it's multiple ways in seeing that. So hopefully we won't have to review that again, but if so, feel free to know that everything is on the website. We also send things out through DPS alerts. I also send things out through social media. We are hopefully getting some more help in to help us with that piece so that we can send it out a little bit more often. But I send it out every time I send out the DPS alert. I send out the social media for the DPS alert, which has the bid opportunity list on that as well. So I'm gonna go on to the important questions about the iSupplier and such that we got during this period of time. So Pam can answer those questions. What happens if you don't have the tables, home, order, shipments, admin, and finance visible? What does that mean? Pam, do you know?
You logged in, and how many folders do you have? I mean, it depends on when you log in, you should have 2 folders. And the
Okay.
first folder is for iSupplier Portal with invoice creation, which would have the tabs. And the second folder is for online bidding. You would, once you log in and you logged in, you should have. If you don't have 2, you should have 1. And generally, the first one is the online bidding. The iSupplier Portal. In the event that it opens, you logged in and it opens straight up to a page, then contact customer support at level 1 and tell them and send them a screenshot. You can PDF, you can take a screenshot of a yeah, well, a screenshot and then and PDF that to your ticket when you're contacting customer support so that they can look at it, see what needs to happen, and then they'll contact level 2 if they can't inform you themselves.
And say that again, that help desk number again, because the second question that I see on here that I'm going to ask you is that the person said that they were kind of following through with you and they hit some point in the screen and they got a different page than you were on. So if you want to address that, it could be that, every page you didn't screenshot and put it up here. So if you want to address that, feel free to do so here.
Well, the for customer support is 312-744-HELP, HELP. And then you can send an email to customer support at cityofchicago.org.
All righty. Yeah, and so if you were having problems with a certain page or you were on a different page than Pam was on, just note she didn't screenshot every instance on whatever you clicked on, you would get that response. She was just trying to give a overview of iSupplier to you. So if there's an issue with that, I suggest that you do what she says and go and call the help number and they can walk you through.
Hey Jackie, I can see some of the questions.
Okay.
This
Well, I'm
one
going to
is
go down to the one that says I'm at the negotiations page. Where do I get the reference number? Can you address that one?
the negotiations page. Again, you have to search. So you're logged in. If you're logged in, then you have to put in the RFQ number, but you have to remember to select either title or number. Title would be the spec number that you want to search by. Number would be the RFQ number that you want to search by. And then it should come. I'm not sure if you have to hit go. I can't retain that, but it should populate once you put in the number. I think you do have to hit go.
Okay, and then the last one that we're going to answer is I'm going to have to save the page that this person was on as a draft until I gather the required paperwork to upload. Will the draft be on my home page for me to access later?
You have to log back into, once you log back in, you'll see your response number, and you'll see that your response status is draft, if that's what you're calling your home page. Your home page. Once you log in, you'll go to your two folders. You'll go to your online bidding folder. Once you open that online bidding folder, you'll have your RFQ response that you saved. And then you want to look next to that at the response status. It should say draft.
Wonderful. All right. We don't want to hold anyone any longer. And she said, yes, that's what she was calling the homepage. So,
okay. Yes.
And
these are all great questions. These are
yeah,
all great questions. Thank you. And again, if you cannot, if for to get the assistance that you're going to need, you must contact customer support, and you put in a level 1 ticket. And then once you put in the level 1 ticket, if they cannot resolve that for you, then they're going to bump it up to level 2, who would have to do the further research and make sure that we can assist you however we can to make sure that you have your access.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Pam, for that great information. Thank all of you participants who attended today's session to hear eProcurement 101. We have many more workshops that you are able to attend. And remember about the construction summit that will be on March 24th from 9:30 to 5. We also will have a special intro session at 9:30 to 10 o'clock. So I encourage you to come to that session. That will set the tone for the workshops for the day. And as always, I conclude by saying stay safe, stay well, wash your hands, social distance, wear your mask, get your booster shots, get your regular shots, do all the things that are necessary. So hopefully by September, when we have our vendor fair, we can do that in person, and you can have these conversations one-on-one with people that will perhaps be able to help you to move forward, grow your business, and garner some of these contracts that we have here at the Department of Procurement Services on behalf of the city of Chicago. So with that said, I will part by saying see you to the next time, and hopefully you all will be attending those workshops. I also will do one other thing. I will give you just a little extra links that you can copy down, and I will not leave until you all give you all a few minutes to write a couple of these links down. And hopefully I sent it to everyone. Did you see my links? Yeah, I did send it to, hopefully I sent it to everyone. Did I send that to everyone, Pam? Did you get a copy?
Oh, I wouldn't know because I'm still on the screen.
Okay. Here, I'm gonna put it in the chat so I can make sure everybody got a copy of that if you did not. And if you're looking for downloading the PowerPoints, you can download it from this area. These PowerPoints will be up soon. I am working very hard to get a lot of these things done. Just give me a little minute here because I'm a little bit by myself. So I also am going to put the recordings up on YouTube, so you'll get a chance to have those as well. So if you do not see them this week, please continue to check back because I will have them up very, very soon. Thank you. And that's it for today. Take care and have a great, wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you all for coming. Thank you very much.